Well, one main challenge to Acorn's domination of the education market in Britain comes from research machines who had nothing more interesting than their RML 480Z with which to tempt the schools. Now here comes the new Nimbus, with the speed of an IBM AT, a minimum of 192K of RAM, and a starting price of under £1,000 for schools. There's a hard disk version for under £2,000. The interesting extra to protect software when the NIMBI are networked together is this dongle. It acts as an ignition key to activate programs which only a certain number of people have access.
The last few years have seen some remarkable challenges to the many hobbyists who like combining their hardware and software skills together in robotics. Now, for some reason, the British tend to be quite successful at this. Don't know why. The early 80s saw an annual competition to produce a self-propelled micro mouse. Its task to find its way through this micro maze.
And here is Sterling Mouse, up till now the champion. After a tremendous performance in Paris,
each year produced more and more sophisticated results, often using software which could learn the shape of the maze by experience. Though some entries seem to have quite bad memories. 2 years ago, BP's Build a Robot competition was for a device to detect a cube from some distance away, pick it up, and then carry it back behind the start line. There were many different approaches, some using on-board home microcomputers, others used nothing but specially designed homemade electronics, including the winner, by the way. And this was the only software it needed.
Screwdriver.
And last year, the British Computer Society challenged people to produce a voice-controlled robot capable of doing some useful task related to an industrial process.
Release.
And here is John Billingsley of Portsmouth Polytechnic, the man behind the micro mouse competitions, you might say, because he was the organiser of the original ones. But John, this year you've dreamt up something which seems, well, to me, quite impossible.
well, it's got to seem impossible. I mean, to say, what mountaineer would want to climb an easy mountain?
True.
And this sort of problem, which is robot ping-pong, is really going to have the young engineers going by 2nd of July.
I think you better explain yourself fully, John.
Right. If you're going to have a robot which plays ping-pong, the first requirement is it's got to hit the ball. This is a super little model made by David Witt's team at Oxford University. It shows that you can move the bat up, down, left, right, and of course...
That's the bat, isn't it?
That's right.
Yes.
And as soon as you're on the ball, you can fire it with that large solenoid in the middle.
Yeah.
And if you really want to flummox your opponents, you can swivel the bat and angle it and slice.
It's got spin.
That's
Fantastic.
right.
Now, of course, this thing is going to have to be designed to see the ball coming, isn't it?
That's right. They've chosen to use sonar, which I think is a fairly difficult way of doing it. But they've got these 3 sonar detectors, and they'll locate the ball in space.
Right. How will they sort of coordinate the seeing and the hitting?
Well, that's where the computer comes in, of course. A computer has to coordinate the position of that ball to the position of the bat. We haven't got a balsa wood computer here, but...
Oh, it'll come, I'm sure. Let's have a look at a couple of full-sized robots, practical robots.
We've got Julian's team here from Elmer Sands Bognor, and they've got a superb thing here, automatic ping-pong engine, Ape. But before we have too much of a look at that, can I just tell you a bit more about how, having proposed something impossible, you cheat like mad to make it not only possible, but almost easy. You see, we've got a playing frame here, which is only ½ a metre square.
Right.
The table's only ½ a metre wide, 2 metres long.
Yeah, so this is the sort of area that a robot will cope with.
That's right.
See and cope with, yeah.
That's right. The 12.5 centimetre bat, well, it's a quarter of the size of that as it moves around, so it all becomes quite possible.
Right. And a black surface?
A black
That's
surface
essential.
so that the ball shows up very easily to make it easy for vision systems.
OK, now how does this beast move?
Well, this particular thing, it can move side to side because it's got 2 motors down at the bottom there. and it can move up and down by doing a glorious policeman's knees bend by driving the motors in opposing.
I can't wait to see it. How does it see the ball coming at it?
It can see the ball because it's got 4 photocells in those areas.
Yeah.
And this is the whole point. If that particular photocell sees that more light than the other area, it knows that the ball's in that direction, so it goes in that direction.
Right. Any chance of a little look? Oh, shall I? Whoa! I see what you mean. Gosh, that's pretty violent, isn't it? Very nice. I like to see, yes, all the mechanical moving parts.
Well, I think Julian Griffin was letting you off lightly there because he
This is very sophisticated, this nickel elastic.
High-tension technology.
Carry on. In all. Thank you. What have we got at the other end of the table?
At this end, we've got a system from John Knight of Fareham near Portsmouth, and it's a superb thing. It's a sort of a kung fu action. Right. Everything is wound up on springs, and as soon as it's ready to go, that releases, shoots forward. There's a little disc there with slots in, and when the computer's decided that it's got to the right position, it slams the brakes on.
Well, let's have a little look, can we?
Let's see if it'll do it. If I count down 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, what? It tipped it.
Very nearly.
8 out of 10 for the smash, but how did it see the ball coming?
It didn't see the ball coming. This one, we cheated a little. We used a bit of guesswork on where the ball would arrive. Right. But it has got a vision system.
And come the day, those two will be joined together, the vision system and the action.
They've got to be. But at the moment, the vision system's over there, and it consists of spinning discs with lots of superb cylindrical lenses focusing the blob of the ball into a stripe, passing over photocells, and of course a computer then has to sort out the image, has to sort it all out so that it then can turn it into a spot in space to tell the robot, or a spot in the screen here, just so that we can see what's happening. John over there, I think, has got a ball all ready to drop, whenever you're ready. And that's produced a nice pattern of spots on the screen showing that the computer knows where the ball is and can therefore tell the robot where to go.
It actually traced it down.
Absolutely.
I think that system actually owes something to somebody who'd be quite familiar with the BBC.
Absolutely, yes. It really is right out of Logie Baird's original mechanical scanner.
It's come home to roost, in fact.
It's come home.
Do you know what impresses me about both of these robots is the speed with which the mechanical parts move, because normally industrial robots, they're a bit lumbering, aren't they?
Well, if you want to have a fast industrial robot, you certainly have to pay an awful lot of money. But not only are they fast, but they respond to what's going on. Now, if these young engineers can bring this sort of technology into the production area of robotics, they're going to push robotics into the next century.
Could be a whole other ballgame, John. Thank you very much. Over to you, Fred.
Thanks, John, and the robot makers. The competition is open to anyone. If you think you'd like to have a go, write in for details.